What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. So guys, today is gonna be a fun day if everything goes well. Today we have a proper exhaust system for the G80 M3. You guys can see I already have the car kind of set up. If you're wondering if I'm really gonna install a full exhaust system on my back in my driveway, yes I am, because that's just how I do things. But anyways, we're gonna get it done. That's not what I'm actually concerned about. It's actually because I already have some type of exhaust system on this car. I have an H pipe from Daler, and I had to cut the exhaust in a particular spot for it. So not sure if the new exhaust is gonna line up with that. But anyways, with that said, let me show you guys what new exhaust I have for the M3. So inside this box, guys, we have the AWE track exhaust. I know it doesn't look like much because it's all in pieces. I actually have some of the other pieces set up right over here on the table. Over there, you can actually see the logo. So again, this is the AWE track exhaust, not to be confused with the switch path, which is what most people get. So the difference between the switch path and the track exhaust is the switch path has a muffler, it has valves, whereas the track exhaust does not have any muffler. It's literally just pretty much straight piped from the cat's back. Well, it's actually not from the cats, it's from the secondary cats, and more. There's also still a resonator. But the point is, guys, this exhaust has no restrictions on it, whereas the switch path, again, has the muffler. So if you guys wanna hang out with me while I install this exhaust and you wanna hear what it sounds like, definitely stay tuned. If not, you know, that's fine. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get underneath there and take off that chassis brace right over there. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's just a couple 13 mils so we can access everything underneath. So we got the chassis brace down, again, just a whole bunch of 13 mils, super easy. And then other than that, guys, I basically, again, because I had a Daler exhaust or H pipe, I undid the clamps of the H pipe, connecting it to the rest of the exhaust. So my next step is to drop the nuts holding in the rest of the exhaust over there. There should be, I think, like 3 or 4 hangers, I think 4. If you guys didn't see already, I basically have some jack stands. That way when I drop the exhaust, it doesn't drop fully. What we also have to do is disconnect the valve controllers or the flap controllers, whatever you want to call it, which should be right over here, because once we disconnect everything and we drop the exhaust, we obviously don't want to rip these. Now I do have a valve controller, so I think mine is going to look a little different. I'm actually going to keep the valve controller in here. So you'll have that one, and then you'll also have another one on this other side. I have some of this already hanging off. So I'm just going to undo this. And there it goes. That way, again, we don't rip anything. By the way, while we're here, you can see where one of the exhaust hangers are. It's that little red thing right there. And then we should have 2 more. One right over here, and then one right over here somewhere. I think there's a 4th. Yep, there's the 4th. You guys can see it right over there. Again, that little red thing. By the way, to do this, guys, it's nice to have an extension on your drill or whatever, because otherwise you won't be able to reach this. So there's one, and the other one should be right over here. There it goes. There's 2. Again, you guys can see I had my jack stand right over here, so the muffler didn't fall all the way, because obviously we don't want to damage anything over there. So if you guys are gonna do this in your little driveway like me, you should probably use a jack stand. Ugh. All right. I apologize for these horrible angles, guys, but this is the best I got. So I have another jack stand right over here. That way, once I drop all this, it's not gonna fall on my face. But again, just gonna undo these exhaust hangers. And at that point, the exhaust should come down. Again, hopefully not on my face. If this isn't the most ghetto way of installing an exhaust, I don't know what is. But anyways, guys, we got the exhaust system down. You guys can see it right there. Thankfully, I had a dolly in my gym, so I used that, which helped out a lot. It was getting caught up on these old clamps. I'm guessing they were so tight, and just with the heat and everything, it almost like kind of like welded it together. So it took a little bit of force, but we got it down. exhaust is out. That was exhausting, but I think the rest of the exhaust should go on easier because I'm gonna do it piece by piece. I know I should probably like show you guys all of it together, but I'm sure you guys have seen it together already. I'll throw a picture up if not. I just want to install this thing piece by piece because I don't want to drag a whole exhaust underneath there and put it all together. We'll tighten up everything loosely, and then at the end when everything is lined up, we'll tighten everything down and make sure everything is lined up correctly, especially when it comes to the exhaust tips. Now, something to note on the exhaust tips, I'm not actually going to install exhaust tips today, and I'll explain why. I kind of hinted at it in another video of mine, but just in case you guys didn't watch that video, where this exhaust system actually got, surprisingly, chrome silver tips. Not chrome, I guess they're just silver, whatever you want to call them, polished silver, whatever it is. The point is, I got silver tips. I did not get the diamond black. The reason for that is Keys did not have any more diamond black in stock when I was working with them on it, which, by the way, huge thank you to Keys Motorsports, always holding it down. Honestly, guys, this build legit would not be possible without their help because this stuff gets very expensive, but Keys comes in clutch. But anyways, the point is, when I was trying to get this exhaust, and I was very particular on time, so it's not their fault, they did not have any black tips in stock. So Gary, my friend over there, told me that, well, we have some silver ones. Would you want those? I was like, well, I don't really want silver on the car. However, I'll probably paint them down the road. And by down the road, I mean like maybe next weekend. I'm not gonna do it right now because I'm already beat, but we are gonna be painting these tips to a nice gold color, nice gold finish. That way it'll match the gold accents we currently have in the engine bay, because like I said in that other video, guys, we're gonna be going with a gold and red theme, and I kind of hinted at it before, but that theme is gonna, you know, follow through in other places. With that said, we're gonna start off with this X pipe right over here. This is gonna connect to where I have the exhaust cut. All right, guys, we are gonna make this work one way or another. Gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one way or another. Unfortunately, these clamps are still, dang, these are really stuck on there, huh? One of the most important things is making sure that these clamps align in a way that you can get to them after you install this thing on the car. So this should go in like that. Now what we have to do is focus on the rest of the exhaust. Now, yes, guys, again, this is ghetto. Don't judge me. I can feel your judgment through the camera already, but what we have to do is start transferring things like these hangers. We're gonna have to basically take care of these exhaust flap actuators, whatever you wanna call them, transfer them to the little like dead spot that comes with the exhaust. The exhaust hangers, there is a tool that you guys can use to make your life a little easier. Of course, we're gonna stick with the 100% getaway, and I'm just gonna use some WD-40 and some brute strength. My goodness, this should just go on something like that. So similar concept, guys. We're gonna install everything loosely, so I'm gonna put the nut in. Boy, it sounds weird saying that. And then we'll put the clamps on loosely. All right, so we're gonna do the other side as well. I'm not even gonna bother with this hanger right now. Guys, so far so good. We got a good amount installed. What we're gonna focus on now is these valve actuators and transferring them from this to the little dummy things. Just a couple 10 mils. We are gonna reuse the factory hardware. Also, guys, do not confuse the left and right sides. Like, keep them on their respective sides when you plug them back into the car. All right, those are off. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, that worked. Now we're gonna reuse the factory hardware and just attach this, put it all together. All right, guys, so quick update. I basically got those things all settled and zip tied underneath here. Did that side. I also did the other side off camera as well. So they're nice and tucked away from the heat, away from any moving parts. So I think we should be good there. So now the last thing we have to do is install the actual, whatever you want to call this pipe, where the exhaust tips actually sit, where there would have been a muffler, but obviously no longer is a big, heavy, restrictive muffler. But first, let's get everything lined up, and then, of course, we'll tighten everything down, including everything else, because I haven't tightened anything else yet, guys. Everything in there is currently super loose. That way we can just kind of maneuver things and see how everything fits. Once everything's on, then we'll tighten everything down. All right, so we'll start off with this side. We'll slide this clamp in first, that way I don't forget again. And then hopefully this should go right on. I'm actually gonna use my jack stand just to help me hold this in place. Alright guys, it's been a bit since I filmed. Honestly, some of that stuff was just a little boring, a little repetitive, and the angles were so bad you probably can't see it anyways. But with that said, let me just explain what I did. I don't even remember what was the last thing I filmed, honestly, so I might repeat myself, but let me just show you. So as you guys can tell, I put the exhaust tips on. Now, like I said before, I still want to paint these, so I didn't really put them in place. I just kind of put them there loosely so I can get an idea of how everything is fitting. And then after that, I went ahead and tightened up everything. And also, I wiped everything down with some brake cleaner and some rags. That way I don't bake my grubby fingerprints into this beautiful exhaust system. So highly recommend you guys do the same. But yeah, overall, it looks like everything fits decently well. Again, guys, the exhaust tips are still loose, so they will look better once they're all tightened. With that said though, this exhaust is ready to go. We can finally fire up the car. It's gonna look a little funny because it doesn't have exhaust tips on it, I know, but that shouldn't affect the sound of everything. So it's about time, guys. We're gonna fire up the car and we're gonna see what it sounds like. Alright, so you guys heard it for yourselves. You can let me know what you think down in the comments below. It's definitely louder. It's actually not as loud as I thought it would be. And I think it's because I've already didn't have a resonator. I had the Dahlia H pipe. So this just gave me kind of like a muffler delete. Whereas if you're going from stock to this, you're losing a resonator and a muffler. I already kind of took one of those steps, so I'm only going one incremental step. But I will say this, guys. This isn't gonna be the last exhaust mod that I add to this car. I have something else in mind. Well, something actually already on the way. So if you guys want to see that, stay tuned. But overall, in terms of this exhaust, I think it's actually really good. I do like it. I want to hear what it sounds like on the road. Now, given my current situation, I'm definitely not going to hop inside the interior, the white interior of my G80 M3. But maybe what I'll do is a POV video or something like that, driving the car now with this new exhaust. So if you guys want to see that, stay tuned, hit that subscribe button. Now, if you have something like catless downpipes or something like that, like it's probably going to sound crazy loud. But for me, on stock cats and all that, it sounds pretty decent. I'm actually really glad I didn't go with the switch path because I feel like that would have been way too quiet, way too little of a difference for me to justify it. And also, guys, it's more expensive. So if you just want like a louder sound all the time, you're not really modifying anything else, the track exhaust is a good way to go because again, it's cheaper, it's lighter. So again, huge thank you and shout out to Keys Motorsports for helping me out with this exhaust. If you guys want one, I'll leave some links down in the description below. But anyways, guys, I am exhausted, I am filthy, I am starving, so I'm gonna run inside. But anyways, stay tuned because like I said, we have more exhaust mods coming for this G80 M3. One that some of you guys said that I should do. So, you know, you guys probably already know what it is. But anyways, with that said, this video is pretty much done and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.